What is up, guys? Coach Cam back again with another video, and in today's video we're going to be discussing how you can make gains with a busy and demanding lifestyle. So if you're anything like me, you have multiple jobs, multiple kids, a wife, and you're trying to figure out, how do I fit fitness into this busy lifestyle? So one of my jobs is a firefighter, so another demanding schedule, and it's very challenging, or can be challenging, to fit fitness into having multiple jobs, multiple things pulling at you and stressors in your life, right? So let's go ahead and dive in. How would I tackle this? Once again, I'm Coach Cam. I have a master's degree in exercise science, been training for over a decade now, and here is some advice that I would give you to get the most gains possible in the least amount of time commitment each week. So to start off, what could you do, right? What could you do? Well, you could do cardio. You could do 100 different cardio machines, and that would not be a good idea because, well, one, you'd have to have access to dozens of different machines, which you don't need and you don't want. You're trying to get the most bang for your buck. And if you did low intensity cardio like that, well, you're not going to increase muscle size and strength along the way, right? And I don't know about you, but muscle size and strength is what's going to get your physique to the next level, take your health to the next level. And so why would you purposefully choose a modality that limits your muscle hypertrophy and strength? That's not an exercise scientific approach, right? So what could you do instead of that, right? So it's probably going to include weights, and weightlifting or resistance training, whatever you want to call it, is going to be your best bet. Now, what kind of weightlifting routine should you be following to get the best results? You're going to want to train to muscle failure, right? And in order to train very, very hard, you want less training volume so that you can recover from that. So you want to train as hard as you can, but with as little training volume as required, once again, because you have a busy and demanding schedule, right? So what does this look like? This looks like training once every 4 to 5 days, 4 to 6 days if you have a very demanding schedule. And then what you want to do in those sessions is find exercises that directly target your muscles, right? With mechanical tension. So we're talking push-ups, pull-ups, dips, rows, squats, deadlifts, overhead press, chest press, cable rows, lat pull downs, bicep curls, tricep extensions, lateral raises. Basically all of those types of exercises and targeting the muscles of your body. And you want to take each set to muscle failure. Now, if you're going to train to muscle failure, how many sets should you be doing in these workouts? Well, start with one set per muscle group, right? So if you're picking an exercise for your chest, pick one exercise and do one set as hard as you possibly can. Now, when I say as hard as possible, I don't mean as fast as possible, and I don't necessarily mean as heavy as possible. You want to contract the muscles under control until the point that you cannot contract them any longer. So you want to hit what we deem muscle failure, ideally between 30 to 60 seconds of that set duration, right? So keep performing controlled repetitions until you're stuck in an isometric hold and you can't finish the rep, and then lower back down slowly. That was one set for one exercise. I would pick, anywhere from 4 to 9 exercises per workout. Try to train your whole body and train as hard as possible, right? So you can add sets in the future if you find that that's necessary or something that you want to do, but start with one set so that you're not wasting your time and you're getting the most bang for your buck. Contrary to popular belief, training with one set is very, very effective, and it only increases your stimulus by a little bit when you add 2, 3, 4, 5 sets, right? In each subsequent set, the stimulus is reduced because you've already activated so many muscle fibers from your first set, right? So train as hard as possible in your first set, and you may not even need to add in a second or third or fourth set, right? So that's going to be my advice to you. That's going to be how to get the most hypertrophy over time, right? Because you're progressing over time. Maybe you're doing bicep curls with 15-pound weights, and then in a few weeks you're doing it with 20s, in a few months 25s, 30s, and you're well on your way to being as fit as possible with the least amount of time commitment. You're also going to be improving your cardiovascular fitness along the way. Contrary to popular belief, you can and will improve your cardiovascular system using weights. It doesn't have to be with low intensity machines that you do cyclical movements for minutes on end. That idea is come and gone with especially the introduction of CrossFit. So I'm going to use CrossFit as an example. They are getting cardiovascular gains from doing what? From doing anything. Okay, if you can think of it, CrossFit's done it, right? Sledgehammer to a tire, burpees, bear crawls, ring kipping muscle ups, like whatever it is, they get cardiovascular benefits from doing literally anything. And why is that true? Because contracting your muscles gets you cardiovascular stimulus, right? It doesn't matter exactly what it is. It could be mowing your grass, right? If you have a really hilly yard and you're mowing up and down this hill, you're going to be more winded. You're going to be stimulating your body more because you're contracting your muscles harder. So take that same logic, apply it, and just slide it into the gym. Pick your exercises and train the muscles as hard as possible. And maybe you don't take as much rest between sets, right? If you really want cardiovascular, like fatigue stimulus, just take a minute between sets. And, if you're finding this, that you're not able to push yourself to failure because of the rest, then increase the rest period. There's a balance there where you can find a rest period that works for you. I personally don't track my own rest. I can kind of just feel it out and tell when I'm ready to go. I am setting up the equipment for the next exercise. And then when it's time to go, it's time to go. When I'm fully ready that I'm going to hit muscle failure and shoot for progress, then it's time to go for it. So I recommend tracking your workouts, writing down the time that each set took and the number of repetitions. That way you have both metrics to go off of, and maybe even film yourself if you want to. You don't have to do that, but that's how I do it, because that way I can see the time. I can count the reps later. I don't have to count the reps in the moment. And this is how I recommend you train. And you'd be very, very surprised if you stuck to a routine like this, even only training once or twice a week, but you actually shot for progress every single time. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, and your fitness and health will drastically improve off the charts in a matter of a few months. And you'll be saving so much time compared to the people that are training 5, 6, 7 days a week for 1.5 to 2 hour sessions. You don't need that. There's a lot of junk volume and wasted time in those types of workouts. You want to get straight to the meat and potatoes. You want to get the most gains possible. Follow the advice I'm giving you right now, and you'll still have plenty of time to do 2 jobs and spend time with your family, because you're not robbing that time to go work out, right? You're saving that time, dedicating it to them, squeezing those workouts, make sure you're focused, training as hard as possible, and you will get the best results possible over time, right? So thanks guys so much for watching. That's the video. If you have a busy and demanding lifestyle and you want more advice, more coaching, DM me on Instagram, coach4_Cam. You can leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this advice, but I highly recommend it. And if you have anything you want to change about the advice, leave that down below. Contact me if you need any help. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.